Hey guys, Caleb here and Jim back today with another Doors to Deals episode. I'm super excited to chat today with Joe Killinger. He has a ton of experience in real estate from auctions back in the 90s and transforming his business as the market changed over the last 30 years. So we're really excited to hear some of the stuff he has. He has a website today that has a lot of great free content for those of you guys who are looking to grow your business or grow yourself as a person. Looking forward to chatting with you more, Joe. How's it going?
Oh, me too. Thank you for having me on, guys. I've been anxious to get on here. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit. You said you did some auctions in the 90s. I kind of want to hear what that was like. And I always love hearing about real estate before I knew what real estate was. So,
it's an interesting story. The very beginning is my business partner now, and his name is George Pino. He's the CEO of our brokerage company here in Los Angeles. And we were at a company called Kennedy Wilson, and they were the biggest auction company in the United States at the time. I was in the marketing department. He was in the closing department. They did some shuffling around, and then a couple months later, they were doing a bunch of layoffs because the industry was slowing down. And so I got moved into George's department, and he was my boss at the time. He ended up laying me off, and so he laid me off. And that's the day we really got to know each other. We just sat there and talked, and well, what am I going to be doing? He was asking me all these questions. I said, honestly, I didn't know. I didn't see this coming. And at the point, I was living paycheck to paycheck. So I was dying. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But lo and behold, he got laid off a month later, and he called me and he goes, hey, what jobs are out there? Which is pretty smart, right? And I had gone over to another company. We're doing a startup auction company called the Sands Group. And so I just told him then, I said, that day that we sat down and talked, the day that I reminded him he laid me off, right? I still do, actually. And I said, that day, I really got to know a lot about you. And I really think if you want to come over here and let's start doing everything 50-50, strictly commission, let's build this and go. Not knowing if we could do it at all. So he did, and I've been making him pay ever since. So, lay me off, you're going to have a lifetime of hell. But it's worked pretty well. So we started the auction company. Within 18 months, we were the number 2 auction company, and it's for mostly residential real estate. We did a little bit of commercial. We're the number 2 auction company in the Western region. And we just sat down and cold called. I mean, there was really no internet at the time, right? So all we could do was cold call. We just cold called, and then about 3 or 3:30, we'd stop, and everybody we got in touch with, so we would start calling in New York, work our way across the country, and end up in Hawaii calling banks, developers, whoever we could get to listen to our pitch. And we would have to then stop, print out the letters, fold them, and send them every night. And so we did that. I mean, we were religious about it. We were in the office at 7:30. We'd leave whenever we were done for the day, sometimes 7, sometimes 9, and be back the next day. So it was a real struggle, but it worked well for us. So we ended up doing very well with the auction company. And then we moved into commercial real estate. And we started a company for a brokerage division, commercial brokerage division for a couple of residential firms. And we decided, this just needs to be something that we do on our own. So 17 years ago, we launched Commercial Brokers International in Los Angeles. And that's pretty much where we're at today. We've got 15 agents, going to take it up to about 20. We just moved offices so we could expand. So we're now hiring. And so if any of your viewers are good agents here, commercial agents here in LA, I'd love to talk to you. And, and then we've got this website, like I was talking about. And the reason we launched it is, and there's a YouTube channel that goes with it as well. Actually, we've had Jim on the show before and gave a great interview. And, when George and I were starting, obviously there was no internet, so we couldn't sit and watch YouTube videos. But it was really hard to find good mentors. And so we always vowed that when we had the opportunity, we would create a place for people to go that could really hear from others about what's working for them, what's not working for them, what they've done. And that's really what this website behind me is all about, and the YouTube channel. So that's pretty much it.
That's fantastic. So, hey, real quick, I'd like to just kind of make an observation here. And Caleb, I'd love to kind of get your input on this as well. So like when I started out in real estate, I only did one deal in my first 18 months. And and I thought I had to like study, and I thought success. I had this big complicated view of like what success even was and what I needed to do. And I finally did my first deal, and then I would dance. I was not focused at all. I kind of do all sorts of different stuff. And you just said you built a company within 18 months that was the number 2 auction company.
Yep.
Was it in the US or in
western region of the US?
In your western region of the US.
Yep.
So I just compare when I first started out all over the place and trying to learn everything to what Joe just did, guys.
Well, I'm fortunate to have the partner.
Right? Yeah.
It's because I could go in and talk about marketing. Where we were at our previous company, I was the marketing part of the marketing team, and George was part of the closing team, the 2 key aspects of any industry. Now, together, we hadn't done an auction, but we just didn't tell anybody. We knew how to do the auction, but we just cold called, and, it was a lot of work. But, at the time, there was a lot of inventory coming on the market. We connected with Freddie Mac, and they were our big one. I mean, I cold called them 7 days a week. I got so well known that their Ellie Evans was her name. I call her every day. Her assistant said, "Joe, here's her direct line. She's never going to answer it, but good luck." I would leave these funny little anecdotes on her voicemail, and she never called me back. But finally, one day she did. She goes, "Okay, hotshot, I'm going to give you a try." She goes, "If you're this persistent to get me to give you some business," and they gave us some properties to auction. We did very well. And then it took off from there. And so, but it was persistence and never giving up. And, but my motivation came from, I was running out of money very quickly. So I needed it. I had to eat, I had to live. And, I don't recommend anybody get that close. I mean, I think I got down to $1,200 in my account, and that's all I had. And I think George, he was about the same. And so we really sacrificed a lot. So we just go and go and go.
Who's that remind you a little bit of them starting out in real estate?
Yeah. It's amazing how you figure it out. Yeah. I mean, you jump off a cliff and build that plane on the way down.
Yeah, and, I quit my job, and I was just ready to go figure it out. And I hit a point where it's like, if this house didn't close in 30 days, I'm going bankrupt.
And here's the deal. Like Caleb was started his career as a top 1%er on a nationwide level. And what he did the same thing. He was calling, just reaching out, talking to people like every single day.
Yeah, and it was just a little disappointing. I was talking to a young lady the other day, and she's, she goes, she wasn't one of our agents, but she was another agent. She goes, they don't motivate me. I'm like, wait, your company doesn't motivate you? And she goes, no. I'm like, you should go get a job. You should go get it. If having to pay your rent and having to eat and she's got a child. I said, you're feeding your child and, healthcare. I said, if that doesn't motivate you, then you just need to go get a job somewhere, because nobody can motivate you enough to work the way you need to work to really get started. And, I think, and I'm not bagging on anybody here, but in our industry, but, it's the last 11 years, ever since we've come out of the last downturn, it's been up. Real estate, Wall Street. If you haven't made enough money in the last 11 years, you probably got away from your fundamentals, and you need to get back to your fundamentals as soon as you can. And that's the way we're all going to, if there is enough of a downturn, this is the way we're going to get through it, so. I just saw my name on here, says Jay Kill. I must have done something wrong. Wow.
Yeah, you can go over to the right. You can go to more and change your name. Something you talked about there, I want to hit a little more. And you really find out what kind of a person you are when you get backed into a corner. Someone who wants it, who refuses to lose, who has a never give up attitude. When they're backed into a corner of paying their bills, paying their expenses, you're going to figure out whatever it is to make their money, to pay their bills, to feed their family. Yeah. And if you're not that kind of person that has that ability, that when you get pushed against the wall to go put in 14, 15, 16 hours to survive, you probably should get a job. I feel bad saying that, but you talked about that a little too. And I think that's a really important point, is a lot of people try to put round peg in a square hole. Is that right, Jim?
You got it, baby. I wasn't sure, but yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, you if you're not the person that has that inner drive to go get it, you might be in the wrong business. But you have to want to go after it. You have to push really hard to succeed in this world.
Yeah. It's a great business, right? And it's not hard to learn it, but you have to be a true entrepreneur in both residential and commercial. And, but it's great. You can really build a great life for yourself.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about commercial. So educate me some. I'm not well versed in commercial. I've done a few deals. I've owned some commercial property. Talk to us a little bit about your adventure through commercial.
Well, it was, we came from the auction side of it, and we did a few commercial auctions, and I really got the kind of the bug on the running the numbers on it. And my business partner George, he works with banks on putting analysis to get on their investment properties. And matter of fact, he was so good at it, the banks still call him. They have their own divisions, but they still call him to go through them, and they've been doing it for years. But I just love the aspect of where you can really change an entire community. So you can take a retail strip center, re-tenant it, and just change an entire community. It's something that I love. That's on the retail side. Apartments, it's the puzzle. I like the puzzle of it, figuring it out, how to make this a better investment, how to make it better for the community. And to me, that's really what I love so much about commercial real estate. I did residential. I wasn't good at, the open houses and doing the homes and all that. But, we have the brokerage, and I love investing. We're really focused on STNL, triple net deals right now around the country. We're seeing that's changing a little bit right now, but I just love the investment side of it. And I really think every real estate agent needs to figure out a way to invest, be it in residential or commercial, invest.
So I was going to
No,
say,
you go. I know what you're going to say. You go.
I'm going to ask you a question. I think I already know the answer, but I'm curious. So like when you started the commercial kind of division and company, like what did you do when you started to get it off the ground?
Learned it. Didn't really know a lot about it. So I've been kind of like you guys. So I went in, and we knew enough about it. Actually, we had done some, we were investing already. And so we just really started marketing ourselves out to the residential agents in that company. So it was at that point, it was called Fred Sands Realtors. So we went out to all the residential agents in the marketplace. We said, listen, we do commercial, and that's our specialty. When you get somebody, I'll give you a referral fee. And that's how we started. We went out and started generating leads that way. Now we did do a lot of again, there was no internet to really go after. So you really had to be boots on the ground. So a lot of networking and a lot of local newspaper ads. And that worked pretty well. And when I say local, they were in Santa Monica, Brentwood, small publications. We wrote blogs, wrote articles, for other companies and ourselves, created our own. So a website was key for us.
So to get it going, you lead generated, and now you did it a little different than the auction. Auction, you were focused on cold calling, and this way you kind of did more of a B2B networking play. But like how, did that take up 6 hours a day or so? When you're going, what did you do?
Hey guys, for those of you that are local to St. Louis, I wanted to make sure you knew about an amazing resource that we have to help do some extra deals. You can email our team at deals@3doors.com. And just so you know, we do deals with other investors all the time. Like it's been hundreds and hundreds over the years, and we've averaged over 100 deals with other investors per year for over the last 5 years. We can straight up buy the deal if you have a wholesale under contract that you want to sell. If you need funding to finance a flip, or like you're doing a burst strategy, we have funding available for you. If you're trying to wholesale a deal, we're doing JV wholesale deals with other wholesalers that, quite frankly, some of the deals we're putting together for a beginner or an intermediate investor, they'd probably be walking away from, because we have systems and processes and we have buyers in place that are paying top dollar for these properties. So make sure you use this resource. And the best way to get and the easiest way is to just send us an email, deals@3doors.com. All right, back to the episode.
How, did that take up 6 hours a day or so? When you're going, what did you do?
I mean, so for the, now on the auction side of it, we had a real focus on developers because local developers were building stuff and they could not get it sold. They were listing it. Residential agents were sitting on, and these were mostly residential condos, anywhere from San Bernardino to the South Bay that we really focused on. And George and I every weekend would drive all around the area. We never got on a freeway. We always took side streets looking for developments, walking on the property, finding who the developer was and calling them. And as we got to know all those people, we were building this network so we could have all their contact information. And so when we moved into commercial, we called on those people. Hey, this is what we're doing now. If you have any business, let us help you. Or if you know somebody, let us help you. And so it's so much different now where you can focus on, you need to be doing the boots on the ground. You need to be doing the cold calling. You need to do the warm calling, the sphere of influence. And you need to be doing all your social. I recommend a blog. You should be doing all of that. But it also should be very structured the way you do it.
And now you mentioned before we started recording that there's an event that some people can go to about learning how to get into commercial real estate.
Yeah, and I almost missed it last year. It's called the Commercial Real Estate Influencer Summit. So last year, a young lady reached out to me. She goes, Joe, I see you doing this, your YouTube channel. And she goes, I think you should really attend this summit. And she goes, it's commercial real estate influencers. Now, they use the term influencers, but there's people that have, 1,500 followers. It doesn't mean, I guess in commercial real estate, that may make you one, but in residential, it definitely wouldn't. But, I didn't think I would go because I didn't know any of the people. And finally, she just called and said, listen, you need to attend this. And I needed a reason to go to Tahoe anyway. So I decided to go. And I met some of the most amazing people. And I learned more about how to use tech or these apps to really help generate leads in business. And, it's great. I mean, there's another one coming up September 15th and 16th. If you want, you can reach out to me and I'll send you guys the links to it. But it's very powerful. You not only meet people around the country that are in real estate, but if I have a question for somebody that's in Chicago or New York, I can pick up the phone and call somebody that I met there last year and they go, hey, yeah, let me see what I can do for you. And, they help each other out. And you're seeing commercial real estate evolve, not near as quickly as residential did, but it is evolving and they are getting to where they're at marketing a lot more. And, mostly the younger generation, but, and when I say younger generation, I think the average age there last year was damn near 40 years old. So
it looks like it's in New Orleans this year. So that would be
New Orleans. Yep, it is 15th and 16th.
Tahoe's cool, but New Orleans is a fun place for a conference.
Yeah.
So definitely, if any of you guys are interested in commercial real estate, definitely go check these out. Jim and I go to a real estate investor influencer conference every year in Tampa, and it's amazing. The people we meet, the knowledge we get is so worth attending. You can take a year of sitting on YouTube, learning how to do something, and you can go there in 2 days and learn the whole damn thing because they have breakout sessions. Well, I say this is what works. This is how you gain followers, subscribers. This is what you need to do. So,
well, yeah, and not only that, guys, but like if you network and get a few key friends, then it's like, well, shoot, I know he was in the same breakout that I was at. I'm sort of not remembering it. Hey, Joe, do you remember that? Like, how would you do this? Like, then you have people to call to talk to and ask questions that maybe already figured it out a year ago or 2 years ago. And
it can save a lot of time.
That saves a lot of time.
I actually just had a conversation yesterday with one of our team members at lunch, and they're like, man, Caleb, you seem like anytime there's a tough problem, you know how to solve it. And I'm like, I'm really not that smart, guys. Like, don't think this is me. I'm like, I go to Jim, I go to Ryan, I go to Steve. I have all these mentors and people above me that when I have a problem, I know I'm smart enough that I need to go figure out who knows that so I can solve and save that time. And when you learn that in your career, that it's about knowing who to know and not knowing how to solve something, you're going to go a lot further in life. So I think going to these events, if you're not going to one, you need to find a summit that works for you and go and meet people that have done what you want to do.
Yeah, your network is your net worth, right? When you've got people that'll support you, and this is very unusual in the commercial real estate industry, right? Yeah, brokerage industry. And so it's unique. It's not a big group of people. I think there was like 110, 120 people there total. So you really got to know a lot of people that are making a lot of decisions in our industry.
I really like those smaller conferences too, because they're so much more intimate. You get to know people on a bigger level. I've been to like KW family reunions, 20,000 people. It's so hard to build one or two good relationships. Whereas like Jim and I, when we went to Tampa, I made 5, 6, 7 really good connections with people in a shorter time period than what I've spent at other conferences. So that's, I like that there's only 100 there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's key to know how to do this marketing, but it's key to really, like I said earlier, the fundamentals. You got to be doing your cold calling. You got to be doing your warm calling. Your sphere of influence is very powerful. That'll get you the deals the quickest. It's just, do you guys do postcard mailers?
We do not. We used to, but we're not currently doing postcard mailers.
Yeah. So we used to spend about $20,000 a month doing them. And I mean, I tell you, it makes the phone ring. And we were profitable. We made money on it. And when we looked at the amount of effort and work and overhead that it added on, we decided to kind of move into more prospecting and networking base than just kind of get like being on that hamster wheel of, have 2 or 3 deals just to pay.
Yeah, I think our return that we saw was less than 1%. Is probably the lowest. But do you guys do Facebook ads or anything like that?
I have in the past, but what I didn't love about Facebook ads is it was like sorting through a giant mound of hay for just a little piece of a diamond. And it was just tons and tons of leads for cheap for one good one. Yeah, it was like 1% conversion rate or less.
Was it? Yeah.
So,
I've never used it, so I wasn't sure.
And it depends on your market. So in time frame. So one thing about Facebook ads, off topic, just real quick. So 3-4 years ago, you could sort by how much money people made, and you could sort by neighborhoods, very small. There was not many rules. It was amazing to do Facebook ads 3-4 years ago. Today, to do a real estate based Facebook ad, it has to be a 25-mile range. You cannot sort by almost anything except for the fact that they've liked Zillow. So what happens in a market like St. Louis, where we have tons of lower income housing, within any 25-mile stretch, if you try to market a $400,000 house on a lead form, you get everyone who lives in $50,000 houses clicking on that, and you call them and they're just like, why are you calling me? Hundreds and hundreds of those people. When you could sort to where someone's income was above 200,000, though, Facebook ads were amazing.
And they did that. So whenever you check that box, this is for real estate, then we have all the different guidelines and rules and regulations that they're targeting. They had to strip it, not because Facebook wanted to strip it, but because the government made them strip it.
Yeah, the HUD, the Housing and Urban Development.
Yeah. Well, I think Google it was announced this morning the DOJ is going to go after them again for their ad business. So, but have you guys done Google ads? They were so expensive the last time we looked at them.
I think, Jim, you guys have done PPC, right?
God, questions like this make me feel old sometimes, guys. So back in the day, 2008, we did PPC ads for 3 or 4 years, and then we kind of shifted focus on them. What happened? This is an interesting mistake we made for y'all to learn. So I taught myself how to do it. I was personally managing it. And then the lead would come in, I'd take the call, go out, and we'd get some deals, we make some money. And so then what I did was I said, okay, well, I need a PPC manager so I can focus on closing deals more. Yeah. So we made that call and we had the PPC manager and things were going okay. And then what I did was I said, okay, well, I'm sick and tired of picking up all these phone calls. I'm going to outsource that too. And when I outsourced that, I made a massive mistake, and hindsight 2020, I was 24 at the time or whatever the heck I was. I didn't know better, but the mistake I made was I did a virtual assistant company from the Philippines, and in the like it or not, in the Midwest, if they hear kind of that non-local tongue, like it's like, is this a scam or what's the deal with this? And anyway, so what happened was we'd look at the numbers and it's like, well, this is no longer profitable. So then the mistake I made was I didn't dig back into like why, and I just assumed, okay, well, the market's shifted, it's not really for us now, and then we jumped into something else. So the advice I would give you guys is the very last thing to outsource, if you're starting out, should be that picking up the phone call. Because like you're the one paying for that lead, you're gonna take care of it a lot more and a lot better than anybody else is. And if you do that, make sure it's somebody that is maybe like a local virtual assistant, and make sure you have some structures in place that you can really hold that person accountable to, because like that is where more investors lose more money on that step, the answering of the phone call.
Even our agent business, I mean, we get a couple hundred inbound phone calls a month once of marketing we do. And me as the business owner, when I take those phone calls, my conversion rate's 20, 30%. A normal agent's like 10%. And I beat my head against the wall, like yelling at these guys, like, answer the phone. Why are your conversion rates higher? And like trying to talk to them about the scripts and dialogue. And I'm like, this is how good I do it. And I have to think sometimes it's my business. It's not theirs. I'm going to work at my business way harder than someone else ever will.
Yeah. Well, and depending on the lead source, maybe you're paying a referral on the back end or not paying for it, right? But yeah, but you're also the one paying for it. There's a difference there than if you're a salesperson that was gifted this opportunity, and like
it's tough to build a team, right?
For granted,
the culture, Well, I could talk about that all day long. We should do another episode. You want to talk about team building? So let's wrap up here. We like to keep these to about 30 minutes. If you were going to say in 5 years where you were going to be, what would you anticipate as the next 5 years, or where you're going to end up?
Well, I've been looking in Montana at ranches on YouTube, so if I could, but they're a little pricey right now. No, I love what I do. And I've managed to surround myself with people that I enjoy being in the office with every day. We really focus on our company culture. I hire entrepreneurs. I learned, even some of the newest agents, I learned stuff from them, things that are new out in the marketplace. And, they come with fresh eyes. And so I really love being here. I'll be running this company. I am going to expand our investment side. We're going to be, we're creating a division for our agents can invest with my business partner and myself. So we will expand that and continue to work on this website that we've got and the YouTube channel, and, just keep trying to get good people into our business. I just read this last weekend that the average age of a commercial broker is around late 50s, early 60s. So I think we're on fire. We need to find some younger people to come in and help us with this industry. So my focus will be finding new people to bring into this wonderful industry.
Awesome. And if you could give yourself any piece of advice when you were starting your business, or 5 years ago, whatever time frame that would be, what advice would you give to yourself in the past?
Be patient. I'm an A-type personality. It's a Leo. So that's hard for me, but it's key. Just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually it should happen. I'm not saying it will happen. You got to make sure you're doing it right, but always be looking how you can be doing better, and be patient.
Awesome. Well, if someone wanted to get in contact with you, reach out to you, we have your website here posted, but what's another way somebody could get a hold of you if they want to talk to you and try and get some more information?
Call me direct. Phone number 310-943-8542, 310-943-8542. And you can go through the website and email me however you want.
And that website's joekillinger.co.
Yep, .com. Yep. Some people throw in they couldn't get on it. So it's .co. So but yeah, well, thank you guys. I appreciate you having me on. I was looking forward to this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, that's a wrap, guys. For additional resources, go to doorstodeals.com/098. And if you're looking to invest into real estate, we have options available for you too, whether that's just actively investing or just 100% on more of a passive front. We have some great opportunities for you. All you need to do is just send over an email to calebcdavis@3doors.com for more information on that. So go out, live your purpose, and above all else, go after your dreams. Till next time. Thanks for tuning into this show. For more episodes and resources that will unlock doors to deals, check out our website, doorstodeals.com.